नमस्ते and welcome to this Sunday show जो मैं हर हफ्ते करता हूँ. And today's the topic is Vedanta Sutra Purana and the future of the world. सबसे पहले अगर आप लोग पहली बार देख रहे हैं शो में तो सब्सक्राइब करिए और ज्वाइन करिए शो को, चैनल को, और हमारे मूवमेंट के साथ जुड़िए अमेरिका में पहली बार अगर जुड़ रहे हैं. आज जो टॉपिक मैंने लिया है, क्योंकि मैंने आपको ऑलरेडी बोला था टेलीग्राम पे कि वी विल वर्क ऑन द भागवत पुराण एंड वेदांत सूत्र एंड महाभारत कॉम्बिनेशन, बिकॉज ट्राइज करना बहुत जरूरी है, बिकॉज यू हैव टू यूज ऑल थ्री बुक्स फॉर अंडरस्टैंडिंग थिंग्स. वेदांत सूत्र के ऊपर बहुत सारी जो गलत धारणाएं चलती है, इंडिया में भी है, हर जगह भी है वेदांत सूत्र पे, बिकॉज वेदांत सूत्र is a topic of the scholars, and some people they know what is the purpose of Vedanta Sutra, some people don't. एक बड़ा अच्छा सा रेफरेंस मिलता है, वेदांत कृत वेद विद एव चाहम, चैप्टर 15 वर्स 15 ऑफ भगवद गीता. इट सेज, एंड अगर आप हिस्ट्री ऑफ वेदांत सूत्र देखते हैं, हिस्ट्री ऑफ वेदांत सूत्र व्यासदेव मुनि ने ही क्रिएट किया था. एक जो गलत धारणा है कि वेदांत सूत्र बहुत सारे मल्टीपल व्यासदेव हैं, व्यासदेव कृष्ण के समय कोई और है, ऐसा करके जो लोग बोलते हैं, टोटली रॉन्ग, बिकॉज देयर आर मल्टीपल वर्जन्स ऑफ द सेम थिंग. तो देयर इज वेदांत सूत्र पे सिर्फ शंकर का ही भाष्य नहीं है, वेदांत सूत्र पे भाष्य दूसरे लोगों का भी है. वेदांत सूत्र पे भाष्य है रामानुजाचार्य का, बलदेव भूषण का, और भी अनेक भाष्य हैं जो वेदांत सूत्र पे है. Actually, there are total 15 of commentaries which are publicly available today. Plus, there are many more written by later on. So, अगर आप देखें वेदांत सूत्र पे कमेंट्री है जीव गोस्वामी का, सनातन गोस्वामी का, रूप गोस्वामी का, बलदेव विद्याभूषण का, रामानुजाचार्य का और मध्वाचार्य का भी है, और एक आदि शंकराचार्य का भी है. Somehow, people say be a Vedanti means be a very emotionless and Jnani Purush. Totally wrong. Totally wrong. In fact, the pehla commentary on Vedanta Sutra is by Shukdev को, मतलब भागवत पुराण ही है पहला कमेंट्री. वेदांत सूत्र को कोई अगर समझे, and I'm trying to show you with the proof actually, कि कैसे both are connected. In my laptop, I have downloaded both of them. और इसलिए किया because Vedanta Sutra sometimes people think कि it is very esoteric, इसलिए मैंने डाउनलोड ही कर लिया, and so that I know what is there inside. So beginning now with this topic. Okay, now पहला मंत्र वेदांत सूत्र का, और मैं ऐसे करके 10-15 मंत्रों में जाऊंगा. You'll be shocked to see the similarities, because many of you will know it, but many of you may not know at all. And आज जो बात हो रही है क्वांटम फिजिक्स की या क्वांटम, there are a lot of quantum things going on right now. Everybody wants to talk about quantum. It is the matter of Vedic sciences, अणु परमाणु and their interactions. वो तो सबसे बेटर एक्सप्लेन्ड है वेदों में ही, और कहीं पे उसका एक्सप्लेनेशन इतना अच्छा नहीं है. Now, let me show you something very interesting. मेरे को जस्ट दीजिएगा समय, just hold on. We need to search for the Hindi and Sanskrit one, because that is the one which is the best. Wait, anyway, I'll find out that. So there is a Janmadi Yasya Yataha. So there are multiple sutras in Vedanta Sutra, and there are all those sutra are designed for one by one. So if I open up the any one sutra, like let us go, a lot of misinformation is there. Misinformation is there on the Vedanta Sutra. We'll take out mantras one by one, and some people they think that the why the Vedanta Sutra, why the some people like Bhakta don't study Vedanta Sutra. That's totally not true. Not true, because nearly all the people study Vedanta Sutra. It's not that something which is done only by uh, the people who are Gyanis. The Gyan is a secondary process. But anyway, so I'm not able to search the one aspect because this is a live show and this is what we search. So the first shloka is Janmadi Yasya Yataha Anvitaras Charteshu Abhigya Swarat. The first three lines of Vedanta Sutra actually match the first shloka of Srimad Bhagavatam or uh, Bhagavad Puran. Janmadhyasya yato anvayat itaratas charteshva abhigya surat. First line exactly matches. That the point is that Vedanta Sutra is a formula written to understand the four Veda or remember the four Veda very accurately. I've got all the Veda here, all the Vedas are here, and I can tell you one thing very clearly that, and that I have in four parts. Rig Veda is the biggest one. Some people say, like I was hearing some people who saying that there were no temples mentioned in Veda, but if I study properly, you need to have some brain to understand these kind of things. No temples mentioned there, no fire mentioned there, or the Vedas only talk about some existence which is devoid of all such social conveniences. Totally wrong. So when you are talking about food, that means you need to have a kitchen. You cannot have food without the kitchen unless you are saying that human is going to eat the leaves of a tree. Simple logic. Okay. If you are going to, if there are kings, there will be palaces. If a king goes to a spiritual place in his palace or somewhere else, that must be a temple or some place which is the deities in it. So people who say there is no direct mention. So I'll take you one random thing. Okay. So Nitash Nityashakanyat Nitshakanyat Swapatirmuna Yasya Udeva Savita Jajana Bhavo Vagobir Yamena Nityat Swasmai Charush Chanda Yut Syat. What is mentioned? There are some people, there's so much misinformation being spread by so many people who call themselves Acharya. So much information. Now, very clearly, somebody said that, oh, Rig Veda mein Devta are not there. Now, here the shloka is there. Is there? What is the thing? Prajapati, Yajman. Who is the Prajapati? Prajapati, they are the children of who? Brahma. That's how the progeny is created. Then it says, Iyamsa, when that prarthana comes, then devatas offer anugraha or blessings on that yajman. So devata is there. If devata is there, then dev will also be there. And I am just using this Rig Veda randomly. I'm not even going deep into it. There are a lot of things people say, a lot of things. This debunking mythology. Why it is important? The importance is now there is a sukta, third sukta, which talks about Rishi, which is Rit, Apta, Apatya, Devata, which is Agni, and Chandra is Trishtup, तीसरा सूक्त. इनो राजन्नरति समिदो ग्रौद्रो दक्षाय सुषुमाम अदर्शी चिकिद्विभाति मासा ब्रहेता असिक्रमेति ऋषिद्विभाजन. Now यहाँ पे masa is not mass, not meat here. Masa brihata means that you are talking about the fire, that you are spreading your light everywhere, you are removing the darkness from everywhere, you are the chief of or adhisthata of all the yajman sacrifices, you have topmost qualities, prakashman, chatru sangharak, and the and you are able to fulfill the desires of people who are engaged in such activities. So this is the third sukta, which is of the Sapto Anuvak, 104 sukta. So this is what we are reading it actually here. Now, uh, so the entire Veda, I'm talking about the Rig Veda here, where people mostly say that it is the oldest. So there are a lot of wrong things people saying. That first of all, there is only one Vyasdev, which is confirmed in many literatures. Okay, number one. Number two, Vedas are not written some 4,000 years ago or after BC. People who tell you anything like that, they obviously do not know, because Vyasadeva did not come just towards the Kali Yuga. He came in the Dwapar Yuga and stayed till Kali Yuga, and his disciples, after the Shukta Goswami decided Srimad Bhagavatam, and then whether he decided to go or not go, that is still doubted. Vyasadeva is still a living being. Yeah. And there is only one Vyasdev, which is mentioned in Bhagavad Purana also. His own son mentions it, that how he appeared in this world. Now the first shloka of Vedanta Sutra, the last shloka of Vedanta Sutra, the first shloka of Vedanta Sutra is Janmadi Yasya Yataha. And so Itaratash Yato Anvayad Itaratash. That is the first shloka of Bhagavad Purana also. The first shloka of Bhagavad Purana is right here. Srimad Bhagavad Puranam, which is the Janmadya Seta. So that's why most of the acharyas, they talk about Bhagavad Puran as a natural commentary on Vedanta Sutra. Shankar Bhashya is also there, but that is not the only one. There is Ramanujacharya Bhashya, Baldev Vidyabhushan Bhashya. There are multiple Bhashya, Govinda Bhashya, and all of them are equally different perspectives. But the original one is Bhagavad Puran, which is accepted by all these great acharyas. And I'm talking the real acharyas, which are in the parampara, not the acharyas who are just self-made titles. Another aspect is, which has been very confidently said, unless you are a Vedanti, you cannot understand anything. I ask some people that what about Vedanti? You have no teeth. Without parampara, you are Vedanti. You cannot understand things as they are. And this is the biggest problem in the society. And the same, so problem is same in American society as well as Indian society. If you look at the American universities, whether you look at Berkeley or UCSD, I live in San Diego, or you live in any of these universities, state-funded universities, they call Hindu as mythology. Hindu culture as mythology. Mythology means it's fake, it's imaginary, it has no truth, no basis. And they keep on and they use material from fools in India. I call them fools because they speak, some people they speak without any reference. And they're the leaders. They're very popular on the YouTube. We are not that popular right now, so but we'll try to. We will hope to with your support. But and they spread the lies over there. That way, there is multiple Vyasdev. The Vedas were written just 2000 years back, and very confidently they say on many YouTube shows. And that is a problem for the Vedic culture. And the monkeys who host them sometimes, and they are also saying the same logic. They get easily confused because those are the YouTube shows. They just want to get popular. But it creates a undeniable damage to Sanatan Dharma, especially in the academic circle. Because in the academic circle, they're looking for proofs. And when your proofs you are not given, and you just repeat the talks of the previous mythologists, then it actually damages the culture. So if you look at University of Berkeley, Stanford, and many of these universities, they usually say they all have written commentaries on Vedanta Sutra. Why didn't a Hindu who is practicing Sanatan Dharma write a commentary on their culture, on Abrahamic texts, whether it's a Gita or Quran, or whether it's a Bible, Quran, or New Testament, Old Testament? Because you cannot write any commentary there. Those texts are you cannot write any commentary there. If you want to write a commentary on Bible, impossible to write. There's nothing there to write anything on. Understand? So, but on Veda, you will see many American scholars and quoting Shankaracharya or quoting other Acharya from India, they write over there. Plus, they also want to teach Indians that it's not real. They take all the information and they teach everyone it's not real. The losses of the larger Hindu community. And it's not the problem of just Hindus, but it's a future also, our future also, not just current. The future also is a very big problem. So Vedanta Sutra is the summary of the Veda, is the essence of the Veda. And Vedanta and Bhagavad Puran is the first natural commentary on Vedanta Sutra. Very difficult to understand Vedanta Sutra unless you have a teacher, unless you have a correct references from Bhagavad Puran, and unless you know Puran. Because without Puran, Ved will not make sense. Some taste has to be there. It's like when if I ask you to eat food, if you just eat food by just rice and dal and whatever you want to eat, and and you just put in your stomach, take salt, 1 spoon of salt separately, oil separately, and I say just mix. You want the food to be cooked, otherwise you'll have stomach problem. Similarly, the you cannot understand Veda, at least for me and people like me, and cannot understand through the without the Puran. Puran gives that historical context. It gives a nice binding of all the Vedic information, and then you can learn it. Then you can easily understand it. It becomes even more interesting when the same information is presented as part of conversation between Yudhishthir, Markandeya, Yudhishthir, Maitreya, Yudhishthir, other people in Mahabharata. Say this, the same thing is the Ramayana. The conversations in Ramayana, that's where this secret is hidden of Purana, of Veda Purana. Because without Puran, you cannot understand Veda properly. You may read it, but you'll come to wrong conclusions, like modern ashastriya acharya. You can call them achar also, pickles. The the fallacy of many people to comment on everything Veda as a imagination is actually coming from India because of all these achars were roaming around. And that information is picked up by the American universities also. But there are, and in America, there is another problem where the Christian pastors are given a task to teach Hindu scriptures. And when the Christian pastors are given a chance to preach Hindu scriptures, then they naturally infuse Abrahamic thought into Vedic thought. Abrahamic thought is completely divergent of Vedic thought. There is no correlation. It's like Abrahamic is left and Vedic is right. Well, I'm not saying the political definitions are left and right, but they're completely divergent topics. So therefore, I usually say that we are neither left nor right, we are dharmic. Now, more references from Vedanta Sutra and Veda. And I'm just randomly choosing. Okay. The Agni Devta is there in Veda. And in the Agni Dev, when he says, Yachema manasa soyamagadesya vigdvana purusha chikitvana nayo yaksha devatata yajinam nahi vatsadantara purva asmat. So if common sense, if yajna is used to give ahuti or provide for the devata, that means devata must be existing. If yajna is there, there must be yajna vedi. If the yajna vedi is there, it must be either an open place but a special place. And so to understand yajna, to have the yajna for the agni, you need devata, you need the surrounding, you need brahman. That means there is some playing staying places. Now some all that information is assumed that you understand. And Rigveda was written by Paila Rishi. These are Paila Rishi. Paila Rishi is the guru for Rigveda. Now Paila, Jamini, Sumantu, and Paila and Vishampayan. These are the four disciples who wrote Veda. So Vyasdev naturally created he divided the one Veda into four, gave each branch to each of the four disciples at the same time. There is no such thing as that Vyasdev was waiting and Vyasdev was himself writing it with his own department. He says very clearly. And the fifth, his son Shukadev Goswami was also listening. And Vyasdev wrote in many places. There's some eastern side of Himalayas. I'm going to show you after my new book is released. On the western side of Himalayas, and on the other side of Himalayas also, like Meru Parvat. Meru Parvat is also in the center part. So without the Purana, without Mahabharata, how will I get all this context? Not possible. Because if you want to know about someone, you ask them. You do not just assume about everything about them. Like if you don't understand Vedanta Sutra, then you need to ask someone who is a Vedantist. Just by saying, and Adi Sankara, like I said, Adi Sankaracharya's commentary is not the main commentary. You may be wondering that why only Adi Sankaracharya's commentary is being taught about. Because most of the people do not understand the difference between Advaita and Dvaita very clearly. And Vishishta Advaita, forget about all these things. Even the so-called, Acharya, self-proclaimed Acharyas also. Because Vishnu, like this is one of the names of Vishnu, Advaitam Achyutam Anadim Anantarupam, Vedyam Purana Purusham Navayovanam Cha, Vedeshu Durlabam Adurlabam Atma Bhakto. So Advaitam is the name of Vishnu also, Advaitam Achyutam in Vishnu also. So Advaita means one only, the supreme, only Vishnu. Advaita means there are two. Everything is one, everything is two. Dvaita, there is a Vishnu and there is sorry. Now, if a knowledgeable person comes and he understands the purpose, he immediately accepts everything is actually coming in one place only. No difference between Advaita, Advaita, Vishishta Advaita, Advaita. No. Intelligent person who knows the purpose, following it properly, will understand immediately. There is another thing which some acharyas say, and self-proclaimed acharyas I'm saying, not the one which are given by the society. So there is philosophical school of thoughts are all, if you understand the purpose, is one. But some of the acharya will say that nothing exists. Everything is just imagination of mind. If everything is imagination of mind, there is a story. अगर सब कुछ imaginary है तो फिर हवा खा लो या assume कर लो कि कुछ खाना क्या है और नहीं कर सकते. You have to eat something. So when it comes to practical things, they will not understand. Practical things, they'll accept the practical conveniences. But अगर but philosophy बोलने में क्या जाता है? When you give an interview, you don't care about what you're speaking in any way. So you don't understand. So that is another misconception some people say. And don't fall for these propaganda. Because these propagandas which are done by half-baked understanding without any discussion in a large group, like not just one person thinking about whole thing, but there's a whole parampara which is going up to Brahma, up to Rudra, which is discussing all these things for years. So when you are in a discussing in a parampara, then you see everything in line. Previous acharyas, previous acharyas, previous acharyas. It's not a propaganda on you because there's no force on you. You don't have to accept everything. You have to still analyze and then you accept it. Or you don't even have to accept it sometimes. You have to just practice it. So we already have a very methodical school of thoughts. We have very methodical scientific communities. I call them scientific, which are already discussing all these things much more detail. But here comes in these newfound self-proclaimed people, and they, I mean, everyone is has free to do that. They can proclaim themselves whatever they want. But it hurts when their mispropaganda is used by the West, who is using it to establish their Abrahamic faith all over the world, especially in India. And that confusion is used by the Western universities to penetrate India. The biggest attack against Sanatan Dharma happened through Sanatan Dharma sadhus, so-called followers of Sanatan Dharma. You know? And they are the ones who regularize these kind of things. Some names you already know: Ramakrishna Mission and other people, Ramakrishna. So those people, they are the ones who invited these people back into the academic system of India. Complete chaos by these people. And now we are reaping the future generations are seeing. Many times I hear from people, students in Bombay, as well as students in some other parts of India, that more and more students are questioning Sanatan Dharma based on these kind of people, these so-called acharyas who are roaming around, who are spreading misinformation without understanding the background. Therefore, I had to open the Shastra, like the Bhagavad Puran, first shloka, right here, and Rig Veda is right here, and Vedanta Sutra right here on the screen. Because if I see all three different aspects, same information everywhere. So now coming to the second part. So Devatas are there, temples are there in Rig Veda, not directly but indirectly. Yagya, Agni is there, food is there, Yajman is there, everything in Rig Veda is already there. So whatever you heard from these acharya that nothing is there, totally not wrong. Totally, totally wrong. Okay? That claim was totally wrong. Now, the lot of worship of Agni. So there's a place in Kazakhstan in north of India where there have been Agni for, they say, for at least 15,000 years burning. 15,000 years they say. This is what the modern scientists say. My estimation of that Agni is from the beginning of this Manvantara. Okay, there are 14 Manvantaras in a day. From the beginning of this Manvantara, that Agni is burning. And I'm going to show you the picture of that Agni in the next show, because I'm going to cover that Agni in the next show. Just remind me when you do that on the Telegram. So those of you who have not joined my Telegram channel, you should join the Telegram channel Sattology course. I'm also on Twitter, so you can follow me. My full name Aditya Satsangi is on Twitter, and you can also write to me at sattology@sattology.org. You can write to me over there. The I'm taking the 105वां Sutra. Now, this is my challenge to the Stanford University as well as Harvard University mythologists. It says, Kada vaso stotra haryata avasmasha rudva dirga sutam bataptya. Now, the the meaning is that Kada vaso stotram haryat avasmasha rudva dirgam sutam bataptya. That how Indra, you fulfill everyone's desire, and you are easily pleased by different types of prayers. So, when will you give water to the earth if we give you somras? Hmm? And if when will water give? So now Indra is being worshipped here. Now Indra, now if you look at the Veda, now understand this is being written by Paila under the directions of Vedavyas. And those of you understand the background of it, the background of it is that Devata is called Devraj. He is appointed to carry out the affairs of the world. All the Devatas, including Bhagavan Vishnu and Shiva, sit in his assembly. This is mentioned many times in Sabha Parva, in many places in Mahabharata and Ramayana. It's not that they become higher or something. This is not a movie set. It's a reality to give respect to his own position. Sometimes even Bhagwan, first of all, the debate people do, only foolish people do the debate between Shiva and Krishna. Most of the time, only foolish people do that. And people who are less mature and they are more ignorant, they are the ones who do such kind of debates. Mature people don't do that because Vaishwananam Yatha Shambhu. Bhagavad Purana says very clearly, Shukdev Goswami is the son of Mahadev, Kripa Putra of Mahadev, from Vyasdev and Arani and Dhritachi Apsara actually. And but Shukdev Goswami is Kripa Putra of Mahadev. So we don't engage in such only the if there is somebody start discussing too much Shiva without understanding, then there's no point. The best glorification of Shiva is done by Ramanujacharya. If you read his commentaries, how he describes Shiva, you should see. He's from Sri Sampradaya. Baldev Vidyabhushan has glorified Shiva in an amazing way. All the Vaishnavas have very high respect for Shiva. Sometimes Vaishwanana Mithashambhu, they are the best pujaris of Shiva. In fact, if somebody worships Shiva in a proper way, he attains mukti. And mukti is given by only one person, Narayan. He becomes. And Shivji himself says many times that he's meditating on Sankarshan. And it is a common information. It's not that anyone who will read the Shastra will say the same thing. So anyway, so we don't get into that kind of debate. But these Indian debates, without Western people don't understand Indian debates, they come in the Western academic system as a complete, is used by the Western academic system to prove that the Indians, that everything is a mythology. There are so many doubts, there are multiple versions, and all versions have to be taken together. Okay, obviously, we want all the versions to be taken together. In fact, we have all the versions. When we discuss Veda, Purana, I have all the versions. I have all the Veda, all the versions. But there is a way, Utpadane, like Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, that the purpose of a well is at once served by a large reservoir of water, like an ocean. Similarly, one who knows the purpose behind everything understands everything as it is. This is what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Now, if you know the purpose, then you understand everything together. If you don't know the purpose, then you don't understand. So, the Western academics who are teaching Hinduism, my challenge to you, whatever subject you are teaching, I would like to invite you on this show, and I want to test you on your knowledge, and I want to see whether you know it or not. This is my challenge. Whether you're from Harvard or Berkeley or any university, you are teaching Hinduism. Unless you are from any parampara of India, then you have to also understand when you're from paramparas of India, you have to leave and stop practicing any Abrahamic faith before you teach Sanatan Dharma. And you should be practicing for at least 3 years before you come on this show. Because we want you to be completely accept the principles of Sanatan Dharma under a guru, proper guru. Then we will have the discussion, and we will test your knowledge also. We'll check whether what you kind of teach. Because most of the universities use this propaganda from Indians over there. The Vaishnavites versus Shaivite debate. Now, if anyone knows history a little bit only, you don't have to do much. The entire debate started after Max Muller's confusion came to India. And very few people know Max Muller's confusion was accepted in India through Ramakrishna Paramhans. And that is a history. With due respects to everyone, but that is a history. Ramakrishna Paramhans brought Max Muller to India. And but now we keep complaining Max Muller, but there was a person who opened the doors within India. The forts always fall when the door is open from inside. Sanatana Dharma has been open book, and the traditions of India have maintained it. Now, one more logic comes in that without Vedanta, without Gyan, you cannot understand. Gyan is a byproduct. Gyan is a byproduct. The most, like for example, a mother. A mother knows her dedication to her child makes her learn everything whatever is needed to take care of the child. Whatever is needed to take care of her child. So whether so she is knowledgeable now, Gyan. But do you think she could do it without her dedication, without bhakti? No. Her devotion for the child, her love for the child made her learn everything. Even if she's not knowing anything, she learned everything. So people who run after Gyan, they actually become very cold and very cold. So without seva, without bhakti, you cannot get proper Gyan. You will have knowledge like mathematics and Western scholars, but you will not have any connection with it. So one might as well not learn it, might as well not practice it also, right? And there are many people, half-baked, there are many people who comment on some things without any factual basis in the background. Factual basis. They comment on everything. Now, my challenge to the Western universities is when you call Krishna as a person who created caste, okay? Now, caste is a European word, so why adding Krishna to that? So it's totally blasphemous. I think the future of the Western universities is very bleak now, and I would request Indian parents to stop sending their children to Western universities for a simple reason that they have a utter disrespect for your Hindu culture. And any American studying Hinduism in any college like Harvard, Yale, or Berkeley or Stanford, you are actually committing spiritual suicide, because they are going to serve you an Abrahamic laced Hinduism view, which is totally wrong. Look at the professors in Stanford. Check out the Hindu studies professors everywhere. Either they will be communist or mostly Christian pastors. What is the need? Why they have to be like that? And it's the stupidity of the Indian parents to send their kids over there. Now, one more last point I'll read, and this is for all the acharyas who are talking from India about the Veda, and they do not understand what they are talking. They think Adi Sankaracharya is the only commentary. No, Vedanta Sutra has many commentaries. Ramanujarya commentaries also is there. And even though, and Adi Sankaracharya himself says in the end, after writing all those things, Bhaj Govindam, he says that you all foolish people, he calls his own followers who are engaging in Vitandavad to Bhaj Govindam, Mudamate. Your brain power, your brain, Mudamate is foolish means like a brain, your intelligence like a stone. He says Bhaj Govindam. Now, in the Som is the ruler of the moon planet, moon Chandra. Okay, leader is Som is the name. So he says there's a prayer. It says Ikyanbeva Sut. He says Eva Punano Apasarga Asabhyam Toka Tanayani Bhuri Shamna Kshetra Maru Jyotishim Soma Jomgena Suryam Drishaye Ririhi. He says that Som, please give me gold, cows, sun, water, and happiness. You stay in the Antariksh and nourish the nakshatra. And please give us the boon, because eyes, he says, for a long time we are able to take darshan of the sun, to view the sun. Okay. So if they're asking for suvarn, gold, they're asking, uh, that means all these things are needed in the society, right? All these are needed in society. They won't be asking for something which is not needed. Why they need a gold? That means there is a family, they have to maintain a family, they need sons, so populations are going to go on, they need water and sukha. So if you look at the Vedic society, this is a Veda, and if you look at the South American society, native population, that's what they're praying. If you go to a native in Mexico or in Peru, that's what exactly they pray. That, oh moon, please give me this sun, gold, water. That's what they pray. So you look at the principles over there, the Vedic prayers everywhere. And in the, if you look at the 117th Sukta, uh, Angiras Rishi, Angiras Devta, is talking about Nava Udeva Kshuddhamidva. So if only an intelligent person can understand that, if all this information is there, that means there are people involved, there is a temple involved, there is residential involved, there is a transaction involved. Just saying that the Vedas don't deal with any such thing, the Devta concept has been introduced much later. Totally wrong. Totally wrong. And people do not know the religion properly also. These acharyas get a big shows everywhere. Kriteya Dhyayato Vishnu. So this Satyug story is about dhyan. This is how you do meditation. Tretayam Ajitomakhe. In Yajna is performed. Yajna is there in Veda also. Right? Dwapari Paricharya. Big temples are there also. I'm going to show you another reference. 108th reference. He says, Duramita Panayo Variya Udugava Yattu. This is Rig Veda. Brahaspati Ran Anvidagula Somo Grama Rishi Yascha Vipra. He says, Paniyo, please don't stay here. Go somewhere else. And the cows should go above the mountains. And other people are already understanding all these places. You can come in my temple. It's mentioned here. So, without reading, quoting anything, and you are listening to it. Why? This is the 21st century. You should have references ready. Pick up the book, read yourself, find yourself. And when you don't understand, then ask people about it. You'll easily get the answers. So sometimes you may not get the answers also. Sometimes you may be getting more confused with the answers. But at least you'll make a beginning somewhere. You'll not get carried away by this stupid propaganda which is going on, that your culture is not real. And most of the time these acharya people are talking about it. Another thing which I heard was, and that the most of the characters, you don't have to worship anyone. You have to just follow yourself. You yourself are God. That is not said anywhere. If you read the 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, which is Asura Vidya, see my other shows on Sattology, and in the Asur always thinks that he is Bhagwan. He is Bhagwan. He is controller. He has killed everybody. He is the master. There are two things over there. Brahma. That Brahma means qualitatively one with Bhagwan. That is called Brahman. Sat Chit Anand. Bhagwan bhi hai, hum bhi hai. Only difference is Bhagwan maintains everybody and we maintain only ourselves. Bhagwan has unlimited quality Satchidananda. We have limited quantity of Satchidananda. That's the main difference. So if you think that you are becoming Bhagwan, then there is some problem in your sadhana. And you can correct it. And this is a widespread view across everywhere. Across everywhere. Bhagavad Gita debunks it, and I am nobody to challenge it also. But this thing comes in the Western Hemisphere, mythology world. In the mythology world, which is the Western Hemisphere, everything is mythology. Entire Islamic history, including Christian history, Jewish history, everything is mythology. Now, in the mythological world, they're working hard to prove that Vedas are also mythology, but they cannot. They are not able to do it. Why they are not able to do it? Because there is so much proof and material. Sanatan Dharma is the most documented culture in the world. There is no one comes even close. Even close. You know, they have one book or two books, and even those books are fake books. But Sanatan Dharma is a repository of truthful information. Rig Veda can tell you the worship process in every single part of the world. I can use the Rig Veda to go to any place in the world and check their prayers. Language can be anything, not Sanskrit, but the prayer will match. Like I just read to you, that how you pray to Chandra. So Vedanta Sutra is just a summary on the Veda so that you can understand the principles of Veda. The natural commentary is Bhagavad Puran. Without Puran, you don't understand Veda. Without Mahabharata, you don't understand Veda. Without Ramayana, you don't understand Veda. Unless you have historical context, you won't understand it. So these Purana, Mahabharata, do you think and will Ramayana, Mahabharata help us understand Veda properly? Now, and you do not, if without a historical context and without the conversations in the Ramayana Mahabharata, you won't be able to understand Veda properly. Ved Vyas was only one, and as per what is being told and what is being discussed, but anyone who sits on the Vyas Gaddi, I have sat on Vyas Gaddi many times, and I have given classes, but that doesn't mean that I am Vyasdev. It will be comedy to think of myself as Vyasdev. So, and also disrespect to Vyasdev also. So I will never attend that. But anyone who sits, represents on the Vyasgadi, is takes up the position of Vyasa, doesn't become Vyasdev. It's just a position of Vyasa when they're repeating Veda. And you can do anywhere. Uh, any students you can teach. Like we are referring to all the Veda Vyas books here, is as if we are speaking on a Vyasgadi because representing Veda Vyas here. The Vyasdev is only one. The future of the world will be secure if all of you learn about it. You learn, you defend, and you fight about your culture in throughout the world. You have to defend it. These people are attacking, and you have to defend it. The responsibility is yours. That was the purpose of this show. Even though I don't do 2 live shows in a week, I did it this time because the topic was very urgent. I'll take some questions. Siddharth asks me, Sir, what drives you? Such a streak of consistent videos and then so many authored books and traveling also. Thank you for that nice question. I can answer you only in only one word, one line. Love of Jagannath. When you love someone, then you follow. Uh, well said, sir. Western scholars do not understand the cultural precepts and modern Indian scholars not ready to understand, maybe because of Western. Absolutely true. Abhilasha Singh ji, most of the Indian scholars, they work for salaries, and it is impossible for them to to speak the truth, because if they speak the truth, they will lose their jobs. So everything boils down to money, and that's why the truth is absent. You know, and this is a big problem. And many of the so-called popular YouTube popular or social media popular, other places popular, those people have been parroting a viewpoint of some vested interest or the other. I've seen I also admire many bhakta also are doing very good job, because only bhakta can give logic and reasoning out, because bhakta means jnani also. So I've seen many devotees of doing wonderful work, and I don't consider myself a bhakta or anything else, so I have to admire other people. You know. And Dhiren Shastri, I admire him because he is doing a wonderful work. He's very simple. You don't need to be a Gyani. You have to be just a Bhakta. Okay. And very Rashi Bhatnagarji, thank you so much. No one challenges how can we Hindu Dharma. Absolutely true, Rashiji. Because half-baked theories, half-baked philosophies, and if you go to the Hindu Studies Department of Berkeley, search of it, see the professors, go to Hindu Studies Department. There is no Hindu Studies in UCSD, University of California, San Diego. UC Berkeley, you check out the Pennsylvania University, check out everywhere, and you will be shocked to see everywhere that there is no such thing any place. You know, not a single professor to be actually a practicing Hindu. Practicing Hindu means a bhakt, somebody's bhakt, Devi bhakta, Shiva bhakta, Krishna bhakta, some bhakta has to be there. You can you can you can be a very good bhakta of if you perform the bhakta as per the like there's one point also pancharatra. Somebody said it's all tantra. The whole world is tantra. Tantra means system. Tantra doesn't mean black magic. Tantra means system. There's lokatantra. Lokatantra. Your body is called yantra. So tantra just means a system. Okay, tantra is not negative energy. It's not negative. Pancharatrika, pancharatrika, pancharatrika is the process of worshipping. It's not tantra. It's a process again there. Tantra is system. It can be called tantra also. Puja tantra, you can say. So people don't understand and make a big deal about it. Go to some YouTube shows and just talk yappity yappity yap, rapidity yappity yap, keeps on going. So we have to challenge the Western philosophers. There is no philosopher in Western world also, Rashiji, because they are just stealers. The biggest philosopher in the West is Aristotle, and they completely negated him. So the Christianism has built on stealing somebody else's ideas. So they absorbed Aristotle's ideas and kicked him out flushed him down the toilet. And Tushar Pradhanji, thank you very much. Saurabh Gatmare, Hare Krishna, thank you so much, very much. I think there are no more comments, no more questions. So thank you so much for joining. Do connect with Sattology, share our videos, and do that Sattology debunking mythology course where we discuss all these matters in much more detail. Much more detail. Also follow me on social media and let me know your feedback. So I'll see you next week, and during the week we'll have exciting conversations coming on the show. So if you have any other no other question is there, then we can end the show. And thank you very much.